Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Andrus, Psychic Medium, and this is your weekly reading for August 10th through the 16th, 2015. And as you can see today, I'm using the Guardian Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine. I apologize that this is up a little bit late. I had plans yesterday, and somehow the weekly reading got lost in it. And so I want to thank you so much for waiting. And the reason that I am using the Guardian Angel Tarot cards, honestly, is because I feel like the energy has just been intense lately. Am I wrong? Ever since we had that full moon a couple weeks ago, the blue moon, it was funny because at first I thought it didn't impact me, but then it was like, I feel like all this stuff came out. Just emotions of the past bubbled up and things that I was telling some of my friends, I haven't had a weekend, and this was a couple weekends ago, not this last weekend. I haven't had like some emotions that tough come up in years since I moved back from Boston, and I kind of just felt lost and didn't know why everything was falling apart and why things didn't work out the way I planned. And sometimes when that happens, things can feel really low. I had even started to have a moment of self-review of thinking, like, if you've been listening to my readings, it is my hope at some point that I either foster or adopt some children. I've just always wanted children and haven't been able to have them the natural way. But I'm getting older, and I started to talk myself out of adopting, thinking, by the time it gets here, I'll be too old. I mean, just the things that were coming up, that it's like, I think it was an opportunity to work through some old stuff, make decisions, stand in your truth. I have to tell you, too, when I tried to decide that I wasn't going to do that, it felt so terrible that I realized that couldn't be right, and that I'm just going to have faith, and that even if my dream seems impossible, because adoption is not easy, it's not for the faint of heart. It's expensive, and it's quite an endeavor. But I'm just going to have to trust that if I feel led to do that, even if I can't do it right away today because I don't have the house that I want for my family or whatever it might be, I have to co-create with the universe one step at a time. So that means right now I'm saving money to get the house, and not get too far ahead of myself and not worry myself out of problems before the situation has a chance to work itself out. I have a rough idea in my head of what I want. And if it doesn't turn out exactly like that, it doesn't turn out exactly like that. When we have extreme anxiety, we can just worry ourselves out of things. But we really have to let go and let God solve our problems. But if you relate to anything that I've said, especially that it's been an intense time lately, I just want you to know that you are not alone. I think it's been an intense time here on Earth. All right. I have shuffled and pre-drawn, and I have to say, too, it's felt so intense that I felt like I needed to clear the whole deck before I started this reading, and I took out my Palo Santo, and I took out all the cards, and I spread them out, and I made sure that I cleared them. So these are the cards, like I said, that I've pre-shuffled. Let's see what this week has in store. This is your Monday, Tuesday card, and it says celebration. It says, this is a wonderful time in your life. Difficulties fall away, and the light at the end of the tunnel is a star you can wish upon. The timing is right to make long-term plans for a joyful future. Have faith that things are going to turn out beautifully. I love this, and I love the synchronicity of this based upon what I was just saying, that for my insurmountable dreams and for your insurmountable dreams, we have to co-create with the universe and trust that things are going to work out. Even if you don't know how, that's what heaven is for, what God is for, the universe, the angels. You have to trust that they've heard your prayers and are working behind the scenes on your behalf. And look at what this card says. Celebration. And it looks to me like angels that are having a celebration on your behalf. That even if it doesn't seem like it, it's wonderful. Even if you have been trying to do something and you have a little bit of a setback. Oh, and I feel like they want me to talk about the big thing that caused my emotional setback last week, because I had a house that I lost, and that was right around, that was years ago. And I'm almost at my, I don't know, 5 to 7 years with that. And every time I think that I'm done with it, some old thing with it surfaces. And so I had a bill that came to me from the electric company that, was a little bit more than I had thought. And I called and asked about it, and they said it was from that house. And the emotion that it brought up in me was surprising. I cried like you would have thought I was grieving the loss of somebody. And what I realized is I didn't know that I had so much grief still sitting in me about the frustration of losing my home and having to give up and having no other choice. And so when those things have been bubbling up here lately, this is an opportunity for us to clear that energy. So we can have the celebration that it's on its way to us right now. Isn't that wonderful? That even if things don't feel great, they're getting better each day. Just keep the faith and know that you're not alone, and know that you are safe, and know even when you have moments of fear that you're still safe. You're still co-creator with the universe, and all your dreams are in the works. All right, here's what we have for the middle of the week. And it is the 3 of abundance. And it says, your passions will lead to your divine life purpose. Do what you love and have confidence in your talent. Learn everything there is to know about your interests by taking classes, getting a mentor, or teaming up with like-minded people. Allow your creativity to soar. I love this. I have to say, too, that what's standing out to me particularly is the number 3. So I'm hearing like 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. But know that the abundance is on its way. And for those of you that want to have a spiritually based career, or you want a new career and you don't know what you want, this is a great sign to explore and take classes. Even if you think, I don't know what I'm doing this for, and I just saw somebody taking a pottery class, and maybe that's not going to be your life passion or your life work, but maybe it will. But what it's going to do is take your mind off of all the things you're worrying about so that abundance can find its way to you. And if you want a spiritually based business, if you want to help people, I just got an image of somebody that I gave a reading to at a psychic fair I did a while ago, which I remember he said to me, I first became a healer, but what I really wanted to do was be a psychic or an intuitive. And then he realized he could incorporate all of those things together. But if you have something like that, if you really want to be a psychic or a medium, but it seems too daunting, so you take a Reiki class, that's not a wrong answer. It just means that you should really do what you want. It's the things that bring you joy. Didn't you hear me say earlier, when I thought about not adopting, it made me miserable. That's a real good sign that that's not the right path for me. Because when I think about adopting, I feel joy. So do I know how I'm going to do that? No. But that's a good sign that something's on our path. Okay? So if you're thinking about taking a class, a psychic development class, a class for mediums, explore. You don't have to rush. I know that you want to help people. And so really what I would do is give myself to God and just say, God, use me. Use me for the greatest and highest good. And I want to help people with my gift. And know that you are worthy. And what they're actually saying in my head right now is, even Lisa is worrying because she is going to a class with some of what she perceives to be the best mediums around, and has some amazing even tutors for this class. And I've written a book, I've done medium work, but I'm always still learning, and I certainly don't think I'm, perfect or the best by any means. But what they're getting at is even at this stage of my using my gift, I still get worried. Am I going to be good enough? Are they going to laugh me right out of that class? Are they going to say, no, ma'am, you're not at the level to do this? You can have all those sorts of fears, and they say this to you because they want you to know that you're not alone. If you're afraid to take this medium class because there'll be other better mediums there, guess what? There are always going to be better mediums, or maybe better mediums because you perceive them to be better than you, because you can never do anything right in your own eyes because you're a little bit of a perfectionist. But at some point, you have to jump in. The worst that could happen is your client or the person that's sitting for you says no. I actually listened to John Holland's radio show briefly today at work. He does a show every week on Hay House. And he was reading for somebody, and he was just getting no, no, no. I mean, that's not very morale boosting for a medium. But I would imagine at this point in his career, he has clients like that or days like that. It's not always the medium. It just could be if you can't bring something through, you're not meant to. There are going to be some readings like that, but there's going to be more good than there is bad. And there aren't enough of us out there. So if you're resonating with this and the hair standing on the back of your neck, I heard somebody call into a show today because it was 4 people that wanted to be mediums. And one of the listeners said something about, I can't even remember what I was saying now, but she was saying something about being afraid to do it or not being good enough to do it. But it's really just being of service, and then you have to trust that the rest of the details will follow. It's not going to come to fruition overnight, perhaps, because just as any opera singer didn't start opera singing overnight, or an athlete didn't get to the top of their game overnight, if you are a medium, you have to work at it. One of my teachers, Janet Nohavik, said, once I finally accepted that I was a medium, I wanted to be the best medium I could be. So I went to classes, class after class, no matter where the class was. Okay? All right. And for the weekend, we have more abundance. Do you love it? We have the 6 of abundance, and it says, heaven opens its loving arms and pours abundance onto you. An unexpected gift is on its way. Accept it with gratitude and humility, knowing that you'll have a chance to return the generosity by giving to others in the future. Consider volunteering for a charitable organization. I love this card because it's just a confirmation of the fact that even if you were in doubt with the other cards that you have seen, that abundance is on its way to you. They're saying to me, get out of your own way of preventing the abundance in, and that just means by not thinking you're worthy or not accepting abundance. And that could be something like not accepting a compliment, not thinking that you're worthy. You're totally worthy, and what they're pointing me to now, right now, is that there's a couple in front of an angel. And so if you've been wishing for romance, whether you're in a current romance, whether you want a romance, romance might be on its way to you. Even if you don't think that that's something you want, romance still might be on its way to you. So if you've been kind of thinking of that, you better decide. Didn't I say this in last week's reading too? You better decide what you want. Otherwise, the universe is not going to know what to give you. But I just heard happy marriage. So if you really want to get married, I think there's a high likelihood of that, even if the person that you want to marry hasn't shown up yet. I feel magic, and some of this abundance may not all be money. It might be something like that. I mean, that's something you couldn't plan if you tried. So just know, to the theme of the whole reading, that heaven has heard your prayers. What a beautiful reading for this week. And it says to me that things are getting better and all your dreams are coming true. I want to thank you so much for staying tuned into my channel every week. Thank you for your patience with me this week. I will be thinking of each and every one of you this week and sending you lots of love, lavish abundance angels, romance angels, and whatever else you need. If you like this video, please share it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and this is Lisa Andrus, Psychic Medium. I'll see you again, or I'll speak to you again next week.